Testing. Okay, looks like my mic works. All right, so the purpose of this video is to show you some quick functionality based off of a quick workflow for kind of submitting a mortgage rental application. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started here. So what I went ahead and did is set up a quick website, and you can actually go there if you go to sheprei.odoo.com. So if I just open this up in a new window, I absolutely can do that. And what the website has, very, very, very simple, is just a basic splash page. So essentially, a little logo, home, apply now button, and then a link to your account. Put this together very quickly, but we have consultative lending for real estate investors. Our lending offers, and I just have two right here, fix and flip and buy and hold. So fix and flip short-term bridge loan, 12-month interest only, no prepayment penalty. Just a short blurb about a fix and flip and a buy and hold. And then a quick description, fill out the application, what kind of the action steps, fill out application, get loan terms, pay application, get funded. And then if you're already ready to go, don't need to submit an application, maybe you're already a broker or a borrower, excuse me, with this company, you can go ahead and pay the application fee. But apply now, and apply now all get routed to the same page, which is just a what we call a intake form in Odoo. And this is very flexible and editable. You can get the idea. This is just copied off of the Label One workflow. So, borrowing entity name, we'll say the Jackson Street Flippers, and it's an LLC. What's the IN? Here's the state of registration. Entity structure, this is just a quick kind of drop down. I'm just going to say it's one person, and it's going to be Timothy Johnston, and he's going to own 100% of that entity. And just a quick, I didn't finish the whole thing, but fix and flip area of, you can make each of these, mandatory if you need to. Number of rentals currently owned, bought in the last 3 years. Let's say it's three total number of rentals units currently owned, regardless of purchase date. We'll say that's four. Number of fix and flips sold in the last 3 years. That is going to be whatever, three. I'll put one here. Okay, so the whole point is we are going to submit this through sheprei.odoo.com, send it out, and then this person gets a message. Thanks, your message has been successful. You can send them an email with a an auto reply, which is cool. All right, so that was the whole kind of workflow on the front end. So if we go to the back end, what this will do, I set this up to populate as a CRM ticket. So it's defaulting to my pipeline of Matt Shepard, and it's a new lead at Jackson Street Flippers, or excuse me, a new opportunity. And then the different stages I have here, you have a Kanban view, but I have new SQL1, SQL2 application and funded or lost, right? So if I group this into more of like a list format, I can see all those different ops under each stage. So this is the new one that we just got. But the way I'd set this up, and I think this might be a good way to approach this, is essentially it becomes an application when it has someone has paid for an application fee, right? So that's kind of the threshold or the benchmark. So in this case, Jackson Street Flipper dude, what I think would be the best process is you vet it out, and by the way, all of the information that was in that form appears here, and other information. I don't have it right now, so it creates it doesn't create a customer by default, so but you can definitely do that after the fact, or we could implement that later on. So I'm just going to say this is customer one. But essentially, the idea here is you would be driving this dude down a pipeline, vetting him, making sure he's a good deal or good prospects. All sorts of follow up. Hey, I'm calling this guy on a daily basis, following up with him. Next time I follow up with him is going to be, let's say, whatever it is, tomorrow or the next day. But the point it hits an application is when you actually add in an application fee, right? So application fee, what does it include? Includes an inspection report, GQA, And this application fee, this would essentially, the borrower can have a very, very easy, um, essentially a easy way for them to view this. You could even include like a loan breakdown here, I think, which would be a cool thing to do. This is the borrower portal or customer portal. And in this case, it has, okay, here's the application fee. You can say what maybe what the property address is for, and then you actually be able to accept and sign for this. So I think we went through this workflow last time, but let me just quickly grab some integration. Okay, so it looks like I didn't have to pay for this, but you'd set it up using a credit card, using Stripe, etc. And this automatically confirmed into a sales order. So the dude paid for this order, and he has a signature. And then on the on the actual sales order that we're essentially charging this dude for, we have the associated task, right, that it created. So remember, we trigger a task from the buying of a product, but how would that essentially roll up into the CRM? So if we go back into the CRM, where is that dude in our whole pipeline? And he's right here, right? So he doesn't have any more quotes. He has a confirmed order. So in this case, we'd have to manually put this in the application. So this guy is essentially an application. It's not been funded yet. It's not been lost, but he's paid for an application because we have a confirmed order of $199. So the way I did this is we just need to associate that task that generated from the sales order to the CRM, and then you can continue kind of managing the deal directly from the opportunity. So if I go into the sales order, it created that task. And you can see here, this is the task. And the task can be formatted however you want. So in the project, here's where all the tasks are going to show up, and here are the different stages in the project. We have a new task, docs collected task, underwriting, and then funding task. So this is kind of a deeper level way to manage kind of what's going on in that opportunity. And the task can be super editable, right? So you can have different fields for instance, different kind of documents. Um, and this, I just put in this field like custom with Studio, put in a what we call many to one field. Essentially, all we're going to do here is associate this task with the opportunity. So, and then maybe we'll rename this task to, the property that they're working on, or, vetting the actual vendor or whatever, or vetting the actual customer, whatever it is. So I'm going to say this is 4444 Goff Street, San Francisco. Okay, so, and then it's still new. We haven't collected any docs yet on this specific task. But if I go back out to the CRM, go to this opportunity that is in application now. It's in application now. And should, okay, here it is. So now we have that one task, the deal task, linked to this Jackson Street Flippers. Okay, so we have an application because the dude paid for, the finished application. Here's everything still from that form he filled in. You can kind of customize this however you want. And then here is the deal task associated with it. So the idea here is you would have the deal task, and the deal task would essentially be the origination, kind of what's going on here. Okay, it's docs collected. It looks like it's underwriting. And let's say the dude closed, it's in funding, and it got funded. And then we'd have to just go back to the opportunity and then just mark this as funded. So I hope that makes sense, because essentially we have two things going on for one opportunity. We have, or sorry, for each kind of flip, you have the opportunity, which manages where they are. Is it SQL1, SQL2? Are they an application, or are they funded a loss? And then at a more granular level, how has that deal actually been being processed through, lending home, or one of the third-party lenders, right? And then what kind of action steps do you need to take as Shep REI in order to fund that deal? So I hope that makes sense. I hope I hope you found that useful, and I hope you go to sheprei.odoo.com and let me know what you think on how this all works. Oh, and by the way, this is kind of a cool functionality is this white label document sharing and management. So you could, as the borrower, you could upload all your documents to this page, but then as the lender, you can also share documents here. And then all of these documents would just be rolled up into documents here. So these are just shared links that you can easily go to and then share, exchange whatever kind of information. So you can make folders for each of the properties, for instance, or each of the borrowers. Cool. So what we covered today is we covered website, how a website would flow into an opportunity, a form submission in the CRM, and then how you'd essentially manage the opportunity, create the sales order, which would create the application fee, confirm the application fee, which would turn into a task in a project. And then once the deal is either funded or lost, then that opportunity is then marked, lost or funded, and so is the deal. While all the while we can maintain all sorts of like document collection and processes within. So there you have it. Let me know what you think.